Ladies and gentlemen, friends, dreamers, and even those who only came here today because they heard there might be free coffee and free Wi-Fi, welcome. I know some of you are still half asleep, some are pretending to be awake, and a few are secretly scrolling TikTok under the table right now. That's okay. I promise to keep you entertained enough that you might actually forget your phone for a few minutes. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on whether your brain is running on caffeine, adrenaline, or pure confusion. Wherever you are in life and however you are feeling in this moment, I want you to lean in, because what I am going to share with you today might just change the way you see everything. The title of my speech is short but powerful. It is not complicated. It is not wrapped in fancy academic words. It is simply this: don't wait until you are ready. Now, before you clap or nod or say, wow, that's deep, let me be clear. I am not here to sound like one of those self-help books that gives you a long checklist. Wake up at 4 a.m., drink green kale juice, meditate for 3 hours, run 10 kilometers, then finally start thinking about success. No, I don't drink kale juice. In fact, until a few years ago, I didn't even know kale existed. I thought it was the name of a new smartphone brand from Korea. And if you tell me to wake up at 4 a.m., I will smile politely and say, my friend, 4 a.m. is the time I finally go back to sleep. What I want to share today is not a list of hacks or tricks. It is something real. It is my story, my failures, my mistakes, and the lessons I learned that convinced me of one truth. You should never, ever wait until you feel ready. Everybody wants to be ready. You say, I'll start my business when I have enough money. You say, I'll launch my idea when the economy is perfect. You say, I'll ask her out when I lose 10 kilograms. And by the time you think you're ready, guess what? You're already too late. Someone else has done it. Someone else has launched it. Someone else has married her. Let me tell you a story. When I was a young man, I applied for many jobs. I was rejected by KFC. Out of 24 people, 23 were hired. Only one person was not hired. That unlucky person is standing in front of you today. I applied to be a police officer. They said, you are not fit for the job. I thought maybe it was my height, but later I realized it was everything. I was not ready. My English was broken. My appearance was not impressive. My background was poor. If I had waited until I was ready, I would still be waiting today. Maybe I would still be trying to get that job at KFC, begging them, please, I promise I can fry chicken very well. But I didn't wait. I moved forward even when I was not ready. That is why you know me today. There's a Chinese saying, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Let me ask you, when is the best time to start? To learn English? Not when you are ready. Start now. To learn coding? Not when you are ready. Start now. To start a business? Not when you are ready. Start now. If you wait until you're ready, you will never start, because you will never feel 100% ready. That's the secret. Nobody is ever ready. Even today, standing here, I don't feel completely ready. I am thinking, oh no, my English grammar is still not perfect. Maybe I should practice more before I give this speech. But if I wait until my English is perfect, maybe you will all be dead by then. So don't wait, just do it. When we started Alibaba in my apartment, I had nothing. No money, no experience, no technology. I only had belief. If we waited until we were ready, until we had the money, the engineers, the investors, we would still be in that apartment drinking cheap tea and complaining about life. Instead, we acted. And action creates readiness. Now let me make you laugh a little, because success without humor is boring. If everything I say today sounds too serious, you might fall asleep. But if I can make you laugh while teaching you something important, then maybe you will remember it for the rest of your life. So let's talk about my favorite subject, failure. Do you know how many times I failed? Honestly, if failure were an Olympic sport, I would have at least 10 gold medals by now. I failed my university entrance exam not once, not twice, but 3 times. After the second time, even the teachers started avoiding eye contact with me because they didn't know what advice to give anymore. I applied to Harvard 10 times and was rejected 10 times. At one point, I thought they should at least give me a loyalty card. Congratulations, Jack. You are our most consistent applicant. Here's a free rejection and a Harvard t-shirt. I was rejected by more than 30 jobs. Even KFC rejected me. Out of 24 people, 23 were hired. Only I was not hired. Maybe they thought I would eat all the fried chicken before serving customers. But let me tell you something. Failure taught me something very important. You don't need to be ready to fail. Failing doesn't require preparation. Anyone can fail. And the best part, every single time you fail, you are not going backward. You are becoming stronger, wiser, and strangely enough, more ready for the next challenge. Failure is like free training. You don't need to pay tuition. Life itself gives you lessons, sometimes with a little pain, sometimes with a lot of embarrassment. So laugh at your failures. If people laugh at you, laugh with them, because one day they will stop laughing. One day they will start clapping. People often tell me, Jack, I will start my business when the economy is good. Let me tell you something. The economy is never good. When it is booming, everything is expensive. When it is crashing, everything is scary. If you wait for the perfect time, you will wait forever. When we started Alibaba in 1999, the internet in China was like a newborn baby. People said, Jack, are you crazy? Nobody in China even knows what the internet is. Nobody even has a computer. How will you do e-commerce? I told them, that's why we must start now, because nobody is ready. If you are the only one crazy enough to start when nobody is ready, you have the advantage. Look at Elon Musk. Do you think he was ready to build rockets? He studied physics, yes. But rockets? He didn't even have NASA behind him. He was not ready, but he started anyway. And now he is launching rockets while we are still stuck in traffic jams on Earth. So don't wait for perfection. If you see an opportunity, grab it. Even if your hands are shaking, grab it. Many people think readiness is about having enough money, enough skills, enough time. But actually, readiness is a feeling. And feelings are liars. Let me explain. When you fall in love, are you ever ready? No, you just fall in love. You don't say, wait, let me prepare a PowerPoint presentation before I confess my love. No, you just say it. And sometimes you get rejected. Sometimes you succeed. But either way, you don't die. Business, career, life, it is the same. You never feel ready, but you must jump anyway. Imagine you are standing at the edge of a swimming pool. You keep telling yourself, I will jump when I am ready. But the truth is, the longer you wait, the colder the water feels. The more you hesitate, the scarier it becomes. The only way to become ready is to jump in. And once you are inside, you realize, oh, it's not that bad. Some of you may be thinking right now, Jack, this is inspiring, but I don't have big dreams like Alibaba. I don't want to build a global empire. I just want to live a good life, pay my bills, maybe buy a nice phone, and eat hot pot every weekend. And that's perfectly fine. Not everyone needs to build the next Amazon, the next Tesla, or the next Alibaba. Readiness is not only about business. It's about life. It's about the small choices you make every single day. For example, if you want to get fit, don't wait for the perfect gym membership, the perfect sneakers, or the perfect weather forecast. Because if you wait for the weather to be perfect, you might only exercise twice a year. Just start by walking around your block today. Even walking from your sofa to the fridge 10 times is better than nothing. If you want to learn English, don't wait until you can buy the most expensive textbook or hire a private teacher. Start by watching American movies today. Yes, in the beginning, you may only understand hello and goodbye. That's okay. That's how I started too. I practiced English with tourists in Hangzhou. Sometimes they laughed at my pronunciation. Sometimes they completely ignored me. But I didn't stop and I didn't wait until I was ready. If you want to write, don't wait until you buy the fanciest laptop or the most expensive pen. Write with whatever you have on paper, on a napkin, even on the back of an old receipt. The world's greatest ideas often start small and messy. Remember this, small steps create momentum, and momentum creates confidence. You don't need to be great to start, but you must start to become great. So whatever it is, start small, but start now. Let me tell you a secret. Being unready is actually an advantage. When you are not ready, you are humble. You ask questions. You learn faster. You are open to new ideas. When we started Alibaba, we were so unready that we made thousands of mistakes. But those mistakes forced us to become creative. We couldn't afford expensive solutions, so we found cheap and smart solutions. If we had been ready with millions of dollars, maybe we would have wasted everything. Being unready makes you flexible, and flexibility is more powerful than readiness. The future will not belong to the people who are always prepared. The future will belong to the people who are brave enough to act even when unprepared. Think about it. Innovation comes from the unready. The Wright brothers were not ready to fly. They had no engineering degrees, but they flew. Steve Jobs was not ready to build Apple. He was a college dropout, but he started. I was not ready to build Alibaba. I was an English teacher, but here we are. The future will not wait for you. Opportunities will not wait for you. Time will not wait for you. So don't wait until you're ready, because ready is an illusion. My friends, if there is one message I want you to remember from this long, funny, and maybe slightly confusing speech, it is this: don't wait until you are ready. Life is like riding a bicycle. If you wait until you are perfectly ready, you will never ride. You must start pedaling. And yes, you will wobble. Yes, you will fall. But then you will get up and you will learn. So stop waiting. Stop hesitating. Stop overthinking. Do it. Start today. Start messy. Start scared. Start small. Because in the end, action creates readiness. And when you look back years from now, you will say, I was not ready, but I started, and that made all the difference. Thank you very much.